Like in a never-ending line, this railway track seems to go on and on and on. But this particular one leads straight to the central business district of the Greater Accra region and goes all the way back to Tema. Now it forms part of the Eastern Railway line of this country. Everything is intact here in Accra, but that is not the case everywhere else. When you go to the Eastern region and the Ashanti region, many of these railway tracks have been stolen. But how does the ministry plan on curbing the canker which is plaguing the railway sector? I went to the ministry to find answers.
What we are saying is that we can still put to use the most expensive component of the lines, which is the line itself made up of steel. And that's what people have started removing. The idea is that it's possible when we finish with the new line based on the standard gauge which we're currently constructing, we can decide to, as it were, realign it and open it up and use the same rail track. Maybe the cost may not be the same, but at least we can save some material and use it as a parallel line along the current one that we're developing.
The existing Eastern Railway line links Accra to Kumasi with a branch line from Achimota to Tema Port. The total length of the line is 303 kilometers. Following years of neglect by successive governments, large portions of the existing narrow gauge line were not operational with the exception of the Accra to Tema and Accra to Nsawam sections, which are used to provide passenger commuter rail services on the respective corridors. The ministry, through the Ghana Railway Company Limited, in December 2019, completed the rehabilitation of the 33-kilometer section of the narrow gauge Eastern Railway line from Achimota to Nsawam. This enabled the resumption of suburban passenger rail services from Accra to Nsawam on 2nd March 2020, before the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic in Ghana. Due to the pandemic, all passenger rail services across the country have been suspended since 24th March 2020. But in moving away from Accra towards the Middle Belt, the railway tracks seem abandoned, giving rise to theft cases. The Deputy Sector Minister, Kweku Asante Boateng, however, says plans are far advanced to operationalize the railway by 2022.
We have received our feasibility studies and we're working on the giving an award or contract to some investors to undertake the construction of the new line through Bososo, through Buankra to Kumasi. And maybe within the year or early part of next year, we see proper reconstruction along the Eastern line as well.
The plan is to develop the Eastern Railway line on a new standard gauge from Tema Port through an inland port at Buankra, and it will terminate at Kumasi. A new branch line from Busoso to Chebi is also to be developed as part of the project. As the theft of the old tracks continues, the ministry says it will continue to use all means to clamp down on the culprits, including consultations with steel companies who buy the stolen products.
The Ministry of Railway Development is the sole owner, asset owner of railway materials. If I say railway materials, I mean the sleepers and the lines, those steel companies. No individual can own any of such assets. So if someone comes to call you that you should come and assist him as a truck driver to convey any of such assets, you should know that they are stolen items. We also realize that when these people steal and sell these items as scrap, they finally end up with these steel companies, unless somehow on the Flower Road, at Tema, and other locations. We intend to also collaborate with them, such that when they bring the items, they will not buy. And we're seeing how best we can collaborate with them going forward.
No matter how abandoned, no matter how rusty railway tracks anywhere in the country looks like, the government says it has plans for it, plans to rehabilitate the entire sector to move transportation pressure from the roads onto the tracks. That is why it is hopeful that it will be able to nip this canker of railway tracks theft in the bud. Reporting for Citi News, I am Niama Ama.